conversation.
Welcome back to the big conversation. Now, over the past week, many Nigerians have expressed anger about how serious national issues, particularly violent incidents and insecurity, are covered in the media. Some say the media is not speaking loudly enough. Others argue that journalists are focusing too much on celebrity news, gossip, and trending stories, while critical national conversations get limited attention. There are also claims that traditional media is now competing with blogs and social media for clicks, views, and relevance, and that this competition may be shaping what gets reported and how. Today, we're asking the important questions. Is Nigerian media truly informing us or increasingly distracting us? Remember, this is not about attacking journalists. It is about understanding the pressures, the realities, the responsibilities, and yes, the expectations from the public. And to help us unpack this, we have a respected journalist joining us. Bioluwatife Akinyemi is a journalist and senior reporter with the Nigerian Tribune, where he covers the politics bit. He holds both a first degree and a master's degree in education and English, and has built a strong reputation for reporting on governance, current affairs, and human angle stories. He has participated in and facilitated several professional journalism trainings and has served as a panelist at various forums. His work reflects a commitment to ethical journalism, public accountability, and informed public discourse. It's time to have the big conversation. Hello, Bioluwatife. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And you've been at the Nigerian Tribune for 6 years.
Yes.
Fantastic. How did you journey? How did you get into, the print media?
Oh, okay. So I was going to, I was starting from a training level. I'd been writing articles to get published on them, and they were published on the Sunday Punch.
Really?
So I think I did that even till my service year.
Right.
So, but I didn't know where exactly I was going to start, but I knew I write.
Right. Yes.
So, and I found myself in the radio station in Ibadan.
Wow.
So I was thinking, okay, so I would maybe a broadcast journalist. But my guy then, he looked at me and said, "You're not the broadcaster. I think you do well in reporting."
Right.
Reporting. But then so we were looking at maybe I will be there as a reporter, just scribble things, voice things and the likes.
Okay.
But when it was time to serve,
Right.
so I couldn't get in there. Then I found myself in Tribune. I sat there at the online unit, the website for a year. So I got retained as a staff, and I was there for at the online unit for about 2 or 3 years before I got moved to news, to the print, to news beat.
Yes.
I was on the news desk as a sub editor. Then at the point I was acting as a foreign news editor.
Right.
Then from there I moved to the politics desk.
Right. I mean, let's go to the crux of the matter, because over the past few days I've been seeing criticism, by people, especially in the wake of all of the insecurity that's happened in recent times. People saying, media is not reporting serious issues enough. Do you think this is fair for people to say, that we're not reporting the media? Because I'm saying we're now, because I'm also here in the mix, because I was surprised to hear when people say, oh, why is it only international media that's talking about this thing? Something that I saw in the front page of all newspapers, so what is this? Do you think that's a fair criticism? Is it that people are not reading or saying, or is it that we're really not reporting the important things?
That's not true. We report the important things. We report everything. But Nigerians generally, we are good at criticism. We enjoy criticism, and unfortunately, a lot of us don't go in depth. We make criticism on the surface. Then once you see something that sounds like it's attacking government, it's attacking people, a lot of people just want to jump on the bandwagon without going deep into it.
Right.
Without being a journalist, I think once you get a copy of something, you should be able to read in depth and gather information from other sources. Even as undergraduates, as a student, you're not going to write a research without drawing from other sources to be sure of what you are.
What you just described,
reporting.
I think, is critical thinking, which I think a lot of people, I guess, don't have. What do you think?
They don't have. They just want to
Critical
follow the
thinking.
bandwagon, you know.
They like the headlines.
They like the headlines. So
without
I was
going
going to
into
say
the
that.
details.
I mean, I pride myself as someone who is very analytical. I like, you know, if I want to challenge you, I would go in depth. I would look at, you know, if you see Nigerian Tribune, for example, right? Since he's working with Nigerian Tribune, check their Twitter timeline and how they reported this thing. And go and check, let's say, David Udayin's page. The way some Nigerians, I have a friend that told me that David Udayin is a role model. My friend is 46 years old.
What's wrong with that?
Because David Udayin mostly writes
okay.
jargons. He's not a journalist. He looks for, you know, things that are open, you know, and he will do cut and join. He does not do any investigative anything.
He says he does, though. He says he does
He
investigative.
says he does, does not mean that he does.
But
There are
sometimes
things
he
that-
has facts
there are
and
things-
data
no,
now.
there are things that you also can find about people online, and you now merge it together. That's not journalism. That's you know, doing anything. If you know how to use the internet, you can also do the same thing. So that's not journalism. So, I mean, the reason is because I think that people have short attention span. They look for instant dopamine things, you know, not things that would challenge them critically or that would make them to see things the way they should.
Right, but this particular story where we all woke up on so in 24 hours, because on the front page, what was it? Is it that also because there's also the space of visibility? We talk about visibility a lot. You can be winking in the dark, you can be doing a great job, but if people are not seeing what you're doing, then there's a problem. What was it about that story across newspapers that made it people not see it? Because I saw it. What was it that now made, after all of the newspapers had carried in the front pages, people still came out to say, Nigerian, because they
see what
insult
they want to
Nigerian
see.
media a lot. Yes.
Precisely,
See
because
what they
I mean,
want to
you
see.
really, I always say you really cannot satisfy everybody 100%. Because the truth is, it was on every single paper, right? We spoke about it in Daybreak Show. We spoke about it on Big Conversation. We spoke about it on. It was spoken about everywhere.
As I was driving to work, radio stations were talking about it.
So I was wondering, how are we not talking about it? Maybe it's because the fact that a lot of international bodies were putting mouth. It now seems like people are talking about us, so and we're not even. Maybe we should talk. I really don't know.
I would also like to now flip this, that you know, that even government, when government does things and they put it out there, for example, this electoral bill, you know, that we are talking about, the Senate have been talking. I listened to the Senate president explaining this yesterday, but people will not see that one. It is what they want to see.
Okay, let me go back to Bolu Atife now, because I mean, you are actively working as a journalist. What are some of the challenges, you know, that journalists face? Because I think that's the thing. When people say, see, they were killing whatever, there's no Nigerian media. Do you know what it takes to go to, you know, do you know some of the investigative, some of your favorite investigative journalists on maybe like the international platforms, the kind of monies they get, the kind of backing and insurance they have? I don't talk about some of the challenges you face, because I think people just feel like Nigerian journalists are lazy.
Okay, so the assertion that Nigerian journalists are lazy is, you know, there's a flaw to it.
Okay.
To engage in an investigative story, it will take you a whole lot. There must be funding for you to go the extra mile. And you must have access to some resources, especially data, that will lead you on what you really want to go into. And it can take a whole lot of time, and sometimes you get to face some challenges that you might have to back out, especially some that may have to lead
Threats
and the likes. And you know, I think was it last year that Fisaya Shoyombo was trying to do something.
in the country?
He was trying to do something on the crude oil theft and the likes, and he got into the hands of the Nigerian military, and you know, he was picked. I think he was arrested at a point. Then before people raised alarm, and he was eventually released. So you know, these are some of the challenges that you know, people face when it comes to running investigations. Even some that are not investigative stories, you know, that are on the surface, you get to face some attacks, especially when it comes to do with political stories. Get to face some you know, media attacks. Some are physical, So you know, a lot of people don't see this. They don't see this, and even when they do, they, like I said at the beginning, people just have some. I would not want to call it hatred. Maybe you just have some sort of bias towards
because I mean, yes, people feel like yes,
practitioners. And interestingly, it doesn't end even in journalism. You would see people saying, okay, Nigerian doctors, they are not this, they are not that, they are not doing well. You went to UCH, you went to this, they were looking at you. But you know, essential workers generally, they are heroes, and their praises are not sung enough. So it's always unfortunate that we are like that. But you know, people should not be deterred. Okay. We will not be deterred. We will contribute our quota because it's a little contribution to the country and to the society.
Right, because I think, I mean, I also feel like the criticism is unfair because sometimes you see, because I know even some of these newspapers, I know you also sort of involve some gossip and whatever, because when you put out a news story, you get maybe like 6 comments. But when you put out that Davido and Wizkid are a few things, because do you think that some of these media houses now also, you know, use these tactics to sort of get, and which is what sometimes overshadows the real news? Because should newspapers even be involved in gossip or, you know, on serious issues, which I think sometimes is what people say overshadows the real news? Because yes, people, you get 5,000 comments when you're talking about Wizkid. When Punch or whatever Tribune is talking about Wizkid on their social media, but when they're talking about killings here and there, maybe you get 10 comments. So do you think that tactic of trying to inculcate gossip and all of that has backfired with the media?
So I always say that there is a level to which you can say that some stories are unserious. You know, unseriousness is relative.
It's relative, okay.
It's relative. And in the media generally, you have so many audience. And as a newspaper that is focused on general reporting, you must create an avenue that will accommodate all, you know, the various kinds of audience.
Right.
And you know, in doing that, you never can tell on, you know, someone who wants to read entertainment. You know, while scrolling on entertainment, they get to read things on them. Okay, this is a politics. Okay, what is happening? Let me read this. You know, some years back we used to say Nigerian youths, they are particular about entertainment, sports, and the likes. But now they are getting interest in the politics, even in the polity, and they question things.
Right.
Well, but the truth is, they are questioning the polity, and that didn't just happen. You know, it happened through what they are so much interested in, and so because you know, okay, take for instance, we have media houses even in the city that their focus is on business, so they have their audience. But for a newspaper that has a general audience, there must be an avenue for them. Take for instance, Nigerian newspapers generally, the weekend titles, you know, they are usually like magazines. So you cannot say because something happened to an entertainer during the week, and you have a weekend magazine for the weekend. You wait to weekend. Your audience, they are not. And some people actually are your true readers. They are.
Yes.
They have their preferred.
So
you know, as a child, my father used to buy Tribune, Nation, and Punch, and sometimes Guardian. And I was reading that even it would make me read them, even as a student, as a primary school pupil. So even though at that time I didn't understand most of the things there, but then they were necessary for my upbringing. So people like that, people like him of his generation, they have preferred. So you cannot say
they should just stick to one thing.
Stick to one thing. No.
Okay, so ladies, I wanted to take it though. Do you agree that, I mean, back when we were growing up, it was just very minimal entertainment stuff that was in newspapers focused on serious things. I think even when my parents used to buy newspaper for me to make me read, yes, I know I'll go to the end, I'll do crossword, maybe they would do some. Even the cartoons would be something that would be based on something like caricature. Do you think that this has backfired? Newspapers also dabbling. Do you think newspapers and media houses need to focus on serious things?
So, and I don't think it's peculiar to Nigeria alone. I think the advent of social media...
And leave entertainment to magazines.
Yes. So I think the advent of social media has made people to have short attention span.
Yes.
So people look for quick dopamines, you know, by consuming short, you know, short content. Do you get it? I mean, like you said, your parents. I grew up reading Tell magazine and Weekend Concord. We were always reading, all of us. In fact, I got so engrossed in reading or in consuming this content that I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be and when I was growing up, my hero at that time was Dari Babarisa. When I got to OAU, the first email account I opened, it was the first person that I sent an email to telling him that I would like him to be my mentor because I wanted to be a writer like him too. But how many people watch TikTok videos now? Even the political content that they are consuming, it is from Tunde Etnot's page and all that, and just know it is what those ones tell them. It is not. I keep saying it. If it is not in depth. It is just on the surface, something to rile them up, something to make them angry, not to make them to think and take action. It's like
sound bites. Just like what even a lot of these religious houses do now. So they share sound bites, and a lot of people actually live on those sound. They don't go to church. They don't read their own Bible. They just and it's like living on snacks.
Because I think they're really just taking advantage of the fact that society is now moving faster than they probably had expected. If we say for example, newspapers now don't just stick to newspapers. They have websites, they have their online papers. Now they have their online TVs as well, because they realize that if they do just print media, they would not reach a certain, you know, part of people, a certain demographic. So I would say, you know, back to your question, you know, should they just stick to, you know, telling the news? I would say if a particular media house, they're able to identify who their audience is or who they want their audience to be, then you can definitely carry all kinds of news, say political and entertainment. Do the ratio. Are you 70% political, 30% lifestyle? That way you know how you're pushing out your, you know, content. So maybe instead of doing entertainment stories every day, you could do it once a week, but you're having political stories every single day. Because by the time you have your audience, trust me, you would have them and they would watch. The people that will not say you are not talking about these stories enough are the people that you know that they are not watching. Exactly. That's why they say they cannot see it.
Right, but this, Bolu, back to you. Isn't this now allowing the audience control instead of us controlling the narrative? Isn't this now allowing the audience, because it happens even with radio stations. First you start off being this. By the time you see that other radio stations, they are doing go. You see other go. You know, you now become something that you're not. So do you think that the media is allowing the audience, because we are becoming and people are becoming more shallow, attention is becoming shorter, and we're allowing these people with short attention span? Shouldn't we be the one to set the agenda as opposed to allowing the audience control?
So I will speak about the media platforms. I won't mention names, but I will say that whatever each media house is churning out depends on the vision and the legacy of the founder. True. And when the vision is stated clear, you will be able to run through it. Sorry, I'm speaking as a Christian now, but where I work, there are some things we've known that this is the vision of the proprietor, who is even dead about 30, 40 years now. So, but you know, you can't deviate from it. So I think that should even be the first thing. This media house, this radio station, what are we going to be known for? And it's not a case of because we want to gain popularity. It's a case of the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. That you know, okay, this is this is that. So take for instance, even as a child, I had known Tribune to be quite political. So you read political analysis, you read even on Guardian, you get to read that, and it is because of the advent of a new media that people think those things are not there. Every day of the week, as you know, because of how the economic downturn is globally now. You know, the pages of the newspaper, they've been reduced to 32 pages, even right from the days of COVID. But even at that, Tribune produces 2 pages of news maybe 4 times in a week. 4 times in 7 days. Then we have a magazine, a 4-page news analysis, political analysis, and that's not limited to Tribune alone. Even you check Vanguard, you check all of them and the likes. You find them, but because of the new media that we've all shifted to, because even the generation that you think read newspaper, they have their mobile phones.
They WhatsApp.
And they pick
forwarding,
exactly.
For example,
they pick whatever they want to pick so easily.
I used to buy newspaper when I was a student.
I buy too.
Wow. So I used to buy newspaper, I would read, and I still love newspaper. But in the last 10 years or thereabouts, I've not bought, I've not bought any newspaper. And I used to sometimes challenge myself that, let me go and buy Guardian. I used to buy Guardian, newspaper every Sunday. I have a friend that still buys 2 every day, buy The Nation and Tribune. I'm talking about online, sorry, what I was trying to say about editorial, direction. This is how we want our newspaper to appear. When Next came, I think that Next was actually what they revolutionized, the way people do journalism in Nigeria. In the past, newspapers were mostly, built for patronage, or newspapers were mostly built for patronages, okay, so Abiola founded Concord, Abiola founded the Nigerian Tribune, but Next came, he did not have any so-called godfather, and was paying the journalists a lot of money, trained them. They were earning, big money. People like Tolu Ogunlesis of this world, they used to work with Next, Next newspaper, and all of a sudden is, went down south. But they did a lot of revolutionary reporting in Nigeria too.
I also think that people take for granted, safety. People don't care really much about safety of people in the media. You just want, okay, something just exploded here.
You should be there.
How exactly? So you're not thinking it's somebody that's going to actually go and cover that story.
So we should be beating you.
Yes,
you
should put that into consideration. Because I normally don't respond. It was the Tim Godfrey one that I just got very irritated. Because you have platform, you have followers, and you are sounding very ignorant. It was one of those that I had to respond to. Like, what do you mean nobody was talking about this? What do you mean nobody was talking about it? Number one, they were. And number two, I'm not saying that they should be pitying people in the media, but maybe that's why I said people in the media need to talk about some of the precarious situations we find ourselves in to be able to report. So, we're talking about the Northeast. He's not in the North, so he's going to have to perhaps depend on somebody who's,
Journalists were daring. They did,
Why? But journalists not daring anymore. Perhaps you should ask.
Journalists are daring.
Journalists are still daring.
Journalists are daring.
I know premium times journalists. I know premium times journalists.
Exactly.
I know premium times journalists. I know people like Fisayo Chiyongos of this world.
He doesn't work with a particular.
He doesn't work with
journalists are still daring. As challenging as NSAS was, I was outside. I was outside, and not just me. In fact, there is even a front page of the newspaper. The first day they assembled in a word in Ibadan. The front page of that paper captured my colleague at that time. He was there. Journalists are still daring.
Some of the print media guys are still daring, actually. But now, I think that patronage has spoiled more than anything.
Social media has really
patronage. People are looking for.
Why is there lack of patronage? It's because social media is saying
that. I'm talking about political patronage. People that will give them money and they would say that, you cannot say in this or your state, for example, in this Ibadan, there are some newspaper, media houses that they've gotten cars, for their
But would you agree that some of these serious stories are, because I remember during that Trump time, when Trump said he was coming, America was coming to it felt like even we were surprised. So I was part of a group where God, I was so annoyed because the person was saying, Nigerian journalists, how they know? They don't, how they know? Do you understand? So I felt like that sometimes for us, it also feels like certain news that's happening here, it catches us unawares. And then perhaps maybe it's the loudness of the foreign media that feels like they cover the story first. So how loud do you think we need to be? What strategy do we need to employ? Because I'm not saying it's not that we need to be loud, but if people are not seeing our stories and they will see CNN and they will now say CNN that broke the news, when in fact, so what do we need to be doing differently?
So I think the first question should be, where did the international bodies...
Yes, where did they get the news?
How did they get to know? They got to know through our media, through our platforms. As much as we get to read what comes from their country easily on our phones.
I also hear that
they got to read from us.
Yes, they pay.
And
they have
correspondents here.
Who rather sell the story
they have
to
correspondents here.
Yes.
BBC has correspondents here.
Africa, AFP.
They have correspondents. Reuters they have here. So, and they report those things on their platforms that you can access and you can see.
Yes.
So we have them on our platforms as well that you can see. I don't think there is a newspaper in this country today that would say they don't have reporters across the 36 states of the country.
Yes.
And well, maybe they may not have, but I know. But in major
cities,
major catchment areas,
right.
they have and they do their report because if you cannot be an editor and something will be happening somewhere and your reporter has not sent it, and you will become about it.
Yes.
So it is not true.
Not true.
It is not true.
Okay, well, I guess you just have to change strategy. I think also the fact that time has changed. We cannot be doing media the way we used to do media. So I think strategy also needs to change. But visibility needs to be put. If people are not seeing your work, if people are not seeing your work,
it is those people that have issues, not the media. So, for example, I am an ardent reader of Premium Times.
How many people are like you?
So because
that know. So how do we? And so we cannot say. So I just feel that we cannot say, hey, they are not reading it. We have to now change strategy to, for example, if you are a boss, for example, you are running an organization, and your staff keeps saying, oh, we're not getting the vision, we're not getting. You cannot say, oh, but Shegun is getting the vision. Osare is. If the majority of your staff are
like today, not.
No, things have changed.
Things have, yes.
When I was young, I watched BCS. I watched NTA. I watched Galaxy because I was born and raised in the city.
Wow.
So I watched them, and till today we still have them on. We still get to watch them on TV. People have access to antennas, dish, decoders, and the likes. But I can tell you that even as I am here, my family members, everybody will be in their places of work, and whoever is at home will not be watching this program on TV. So they will have access to.
Please tell them.
They will be watching on their phones
and on your
possibly
YouTube.
On their laptops, on their iPads. Now, this is it. We have keyed into the narrative as well. Right here, if you check, people are watching this event, this program, on YouTube.
Exactly.
And I can tell you that I'm sure that when this platform started coming in, people would say that, do we really want to key into this?
Yes.
Until you now see that new media is the way to go. In fact, now, the office of, the office of every governor, they have special advisors on new media.
Yes.
No media publicity.
Okay.
New media.
Really?
New media. So what
they do now?
So what we do, what we check online is new media. If you visit the governor now, before they say, okay, we have a statement to write about your presence at the office of the governor, the heads of the governor who made video recordings, pictures. Before you get to your destination, you find it on the page. So you can't say that. We have keyed into the movement.
Okay.
And we are running with it. So people choose to see what they want to see. People choose to read what they want to read. But you cannot say that everybody should read what you want. It is relative and it's about preference.
Okay.
And there must be an avenue to cover everybody.
Everybody as much as you can. All right, well, this was such a penetrative conversation so far. And there's more, so don't go away just yet as we get to explore this conversation even more with Boluwatife Akinyemi during our next segment where we play the agree or disagree game. Don't go away. Welcome back. It's time for agree or disagree, and here's our statement for the day. Journalists need stronger institutional support to do deeper investigative reporting. Do you agree or disagree? If you're watching, get in the comment section and share your stance. Journalists need stronger institutional support to do deeper investigative reporting, so that we're not going deep enough. And if we got institutional support, do you think we would go deeper?
Yes.
So agree, you agree. Okay, you agree. Show support. Okay, let me stand in the middle. Let me stand in the middle. Okay, let's take Boluwatife first actually. Why do you agree?
Because at the point in this conversation, I said every media house, they have a vision, they have an editorial, stand that they take. So, but to go into investigation, I told you it will require a lot. It will require some resources, access to data, funding in particular. And how many media houses have access to that fund, like before?
Right.
I know there was a time a lot of media houses, we were able to go the extra mile through grants from foreign bodies to conduct stories,
Exactly.
even some that are not even investigative, just to have a depth of what is going on.
Right.
Let's take Ibadan for instance.
Yes.
There was a time we had a crisis in Shasha market.
Yes.
And people came in from all kinds of media houses to report that that incident. I can tell you for a fact that not all media houses saw that and jumped on that to report. Not all, but the ones that came to Ibadan, or the ones that left their locations to visit that place, to talk to people, the victims, people who lost their houses, their family members. So you can tell that people who went there, it took a whole lot.
Right.
It took a whole lot.
Okay. All right. So I would say, let me stand a minute. And the reason why is because I agree with everything you said. I believe that we do need stronger institutional support, financial support, backing, because a lot of media houses, don't really back their reporters or, media men. But also now, because I remember people in the media when we were growing up, they were just people who were passionate.
Yeah.
And I don't see that passion, very much anymore. People have now become very, metropolitan or cosmopolitan and want to do media in a way that appeals to everybody so they can get visibility, get popular, get famous, want to break the news, without doing the work. So I stand in the middle because people that were media men when we were growing up were radicals, rebels, people who just wanted the country to be well. So, and like Funlola said, there's a lot of patronage, there's a lot of and once you've gotten a token of maybe like $1,000 just from somebody, it's harder. Yes, it's hard. It's hard for passion to now or to say no to things like that, especially in the economy that we're at. So that's why I stand in the middle of that. Even though we do need stronger institutional support, however, I also believe that a lot of people are just not as passionate anymore, and also because we have this learned helplessness. Because when you keep reporting the same old and nothing is changing. They're killing, these killings, for example, we're so desensitized to it. So when you keep reporting that, after a while, it's like, there are some cabals there, and there's nothing I can do as a journalist. So I believe that that's one of the issues that we have.
So I would go back to Dagrin, like you said, that people that I knew as journalists were people who were very passionate about it, who could write well, who were not afraid of speaking truth to power.
Not afraid, yes.
So to say. But I would also say that if in the past, right, people were also motivated by other things, accolades. If you, for example, when Delegiwa died, everybody in Nigeria was, who killed Delegiwa, so
because
and
of
also,
the work that he had done
because
before
of the
he
work
died,
that he had done, right? How many of these so-called journalists,
would you remember if anything
yes,
happened
if
to
anything
them?
happens to them, number one. Number two, in the past, there was also something called like peer review, what's it called now, accolades or something, or peer accolades. Like, I remember that we used to have Nigerian Media Merit Award, that we used to even watch it, but nobody notices.
No, that's not true.
I am a media, I'm always watching things like that.
Is the award still going on?
Nigerian Merit Media Award still going on.
So
I applied for it last year. We applied for it in my office, and we got several nominations, and we got about 2 or 3 winners.
Okay, maybe we are not aware.
And you are not just aware.
That awareness,
Yes,
that awareness, I think, is the
yes. In the past, we used to look forward to that.
There's DIM. DIM
Yes.
still exists.
Wow.
DIM Awards.
Oh, Diamond Award for...
Yes, DIM is there.
Yeah.
There's it
So
every
it's
year.
sponsored by Access Bank now.
I thought that I can remember.
Okay. So I used to follow all this. Like, as I wanted to be a journalist.
Incentives that will make people...
Yes,
Yes, there are incentives.
Yes, that
incentives.
will make people to
If
do
you
more.
If you get to win DIM Award, I think you're going with... it's not a small amount of money, and you get access to an iPad access. So
wow.
They are
people
still,
are actually... Okay, so...
You're not just aware. People are not aware.
People are not
okay,
aware.
Osare, what do you
Well,
say?
I mean, I agree that if there's, institutional support, there will be a lot more reporting that would be done. My only fear is, will there still be freedom of the press then? Because, you know, just when he was talking about, okay, yes, you get funding from maybe foreign institutions, that's fine. But when the support is coming from an internal body who, they will not tell you, oh, do something in my favor, but with the weight of the check, if you report against yourself, you will feel it, right? So that's just a fear. It will, you know, the press still be as free as it should be, or will people be reporting out of fear or favor?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, thank you all so much. Thank you, Bolu Atife, for your time here. Let's look at our wise words actually very quickly before we go. And Bolu Atife, you read it for us. Ooh, can you read that for us?
Yeah, I can. The best way to keep power in check is to have a lively, vigorous press that cannot be bullied by political or economic forces.
Then, Brady, you know that economics, that's the biggest bully, I think, for a lot of reporters. Because when you know that your pocket is dry, they're now saying you should go to Kotangoa to go and report. You're like, man, is that going to put food on my table? You know, well, it's been such an insightful conversation. Would you agree? It really reminds us that media is not just an institution. It's a relationship between those who report and those who consume. Trust, responsibility, ethics, economics, safety, and public expectation all intersect here. Perhaps the real question is not simply whether the media is informing or distracting us, but how we all contribute to the kind of information environment we live in. Thank you for watching The Big Conversation. Keep thinking, keep questioning, and most importantly, stay engaged. And don't forget to please subscribe and leave a comment. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you once again, Bolu Atife, for coming. We love you for watching. Catch you next time on The Big Conversation.
Rising, stories told, truth unfolding, brave and bold. In this space we speak our mind, different views all intertwined. It's the big conversation where the real ones talk. From the heart of the nation we all take that walk. Through the fire, through the facts we don't hold back. It's the big conversation. Rising, stories told, truth unfolding, brave and bold. In this space we speak our mind, different views all intertwined. It's the big conversation where the real ones talk. From the heart of the nation we all take